Hey, Taco here. Come with me on my basically my early March flights. I've Today is the 20. No, it's the 31st. These were flights from the first part of March, so like up until the 19th. First one you see me taking off, and it's a cloudy minimum day. So the app had said it was supposed to like be cloudy a little bit and then clear up. And I took off and I flew around. It was a lot bumpier than I expected, and so I really didn't like. And I was surprised because with all the clouds that it was bumpy, but it was a little bit gross. So I took off, intending to fly up towards McBee again and meet Jake close by the RV store there, because he was going to do some acrobatics near the RV place. They were having a big sale, and he was going to do some acro over some, not over their heads, but over some fields very close to the RV place, and because he knows the guy. But he got there first and turned around and left, and by the time I got about halfway there, the clouds were coming down, and it just seemed like it wasn't going to be a good day. So I turned around and went back, and ironically enough, the clouds opened up about the time I was leaving the airport, so that was nuts. This next one you see is we are out kind of on a windy day and just giving it some kiting practice. So unfortunately you can't see me doing kiting practice because I walked over there, talked to them a little bit, and then went and got my car. And I was gonna fly, but I wound up not flying because the winds was kind of too gross, real bumpy, real gusty. But I did get in some good kiting practice, which unfortunately I didn't capture because my Insta360 died about the time I drove over there with the car, and I didn't realize it. So a lot of fun anyway. I mean, it's good to get some kiting practice in. Anytime the wind is a little bit too gross to fly, but still safe enough to kite your wing, it's a good idea to get out there and say, hey, you know what? I can't fly today, but let's play with our $3,000 kite. So. Okay, so this next series, I think these next two flights, oh, there's the drone again. And I knew the drone was going to be there, so all the drone naysayers kind of like, get out of the way. He had my consent to be there. Anyway, so I was doing a couple of takeoff and landing runs just to get in some spot landing practice. I'm trying to get a lot closer to where I want to land. And this first one, if I remember right, the first takeoff was really nice. The landing, I was a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. I didn't quite get down the runway as far as I wanted to, but I was happy with it. What a gorgeous afternoon. Nice and smooth. I think this is the one where the fire spotter plane comes in. I think this is the one. And I kind of turn off and let him land. And then I come in for my landing. But I've cut a lot of that out. This was like an hour-long video that I cut down to something that was remotely watchable. Yeah, that's it. You see me pulling back and doing a turn there. I'm not just trying to lose altitude. He is coming in farther out and higher than me, and I heard his radio call, so I was like, hey, it's your airport. I got to yield the right of way to him anyway, so it's your airport, you land. And once he was out of the way, I came in for a landing. I was grateful. Both landings I did this day stayed on my feet, so I was really happy with that. I wasn't real happy, as you can tell, with my height off the ground, and I didn't want to get into a pilot-induced oscillation where I'm giving it gas but not enough, and then giving it gas and not enough, and that can tend to get bad in a hurry if you don't catch it. So if you're going to get on the gas, you got to kind of stay on it, and then gradually come back off of it, so you don't start this slow oscillation that builds until you right into the ground. So something to watch out for when you're flying low, pilot-induced oscillation. And I'm aiming for the little dead spot. I should have been aiming more for where the guy is standing over there, but I was aiming for the kind of the dead spot in the grass. And not this one, the one next to it. So I was a little short and a little bit to the left, but I was happy with the landing. The landing came out nice. And I dropped my glider all the way down and folded it up. So I was kind of happy with that one. Now you'll see on my next takeoff, they actually helped me get set up again. So I don't have to take all my crap off. So I'm just going to move away from the main runway. Just in case somebody else comes in and lands, I don't want it to blow my glider all over the place. So they actually helped me get set up. I've said before, I've got my lower back is bad. I was in a car accident many years ago at work, and it kind of messed up my lower back, and and then I've got some bad C6, C7 vertebra up here, where my discs are bulging in on my spinal cord. So sometimes it hurts to leave all this stuff on a long time. So. Like, I want to get back in the air and get this weight off my back as soon as I can, because it's painful. Yeah, you see the the glider came up, and then I felt real good though. I gave it a good, I stepped back under it and was able to keep it off the ground. Another fun takeoff. And I'm going to cut a lot of this flight out. Look at that wildfire in the distance, that black or dark gray smoke coming up from the ground. Just covered the whole area. Just nasty. A lot of fires in South Carolina this month. It's been real dry. We'll have a period of a couple of really wet days, and then it gets cold and the humidity drops down to like 10%, and all the water on the ground dries up real quick, so we get a lot of wildfires. This flight was interesting though, because it was the first time I've used my Trevor Steele headset to take a phone call, and that was wild. I was actually able to hear them really well and on my headset, and take a phone call, and they gave me landing instruction right in my ears through my phone, which was freaking awesome. The only problem I had was the radio. Actually, when the radio comes on, it mutes the phone. So there were a few planes in the area up in Marlboro, up in Cheraw, I think, and it kept cutting in on the conversation. The audio you're hearing as I talk is actually not from the comms, but from the Insta360 camera, which is right by my head. It's got a great microphone.
That'll hurt. That sounds expensive. You get good? Yeah, every time the radio breaks squelch, I'll lose you and you're funny. I was really hoping it'd get less bumpy as it got later. Woo! Good Lord. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah, I'll come over by the, towards the windsock and then I'll cut. I don't hear anybody else trying to land.
I don't quite make it where I want to make, because I almost land on this taxiway light. So I swung too far left. I should have just kind of stayed more towards the edge of the main runway. When you get a nice forward breeze, you actually come down at a steeper angle because the wind is blowing you, it's trying to hold you back while you're descending. So if you don't have any wind, you come down at a shallow angle. If you have more wind, you come down at a steeper angle. So when I kill the motor, I'm coming in a lot steeper than I expected. The one thing I do not want to do is land on that pavement, trip and fall and scrape my hands all up.
Oh shit!
And then I see that landing light. I'm desperately trying to get away from that thing. So I was happy with this landing as well. I stayed on my feet. I didn't drop the glider symmetrically, so it kind of folded up and turned upside down again, but still happy. I didn't fall on my face.
I thought I was gonna land on that fucking thing. It was just coming right at me.
A little bit more pointed at us.
Woo! That is awesome. I tell Trevor Steele, that thing fucking worked.
I got one of the landings. That's right.
This was just another fun flight day with Travis and Jake, and you can see Jake over there on the side. A lot more bumpy than I thought it was going to be. I wanted to get up and do some more asymmetric spiral entries and exits, and maybe a little bit of very tiny little, not even wing overs, but just very easy kind of back and forth turns. Wouldn't call those a wing over at all. But I was going to do some of that, but it was so bumpy. Of course, you don't get that feeling from the Insta camera because it uses a gyro to stabilize itself. So you don't get that bump feeling from the Insta camera. So I just flew around the airport for a while. And you can see again that gray smoke, just it's all over the horizon. And what you really can't see, I mean, you see it on the horizon, but you really can't see. I'm in it. And by the time I landed, I was coughing good. I smelled like I'd been at a campfire. Just terrible, terrible air. Which makes me think, how often do we replace our air filters on these things? Something I'm going to have to look up. I did get a new air box about 15 hours ago, so probably not time yet. But looking straight down, it looks like a pretty day. You know, it's getting towards sunset. Just a little bumpy for me practicing tight turns and spirals and things like that. I just wanted to take it easy. One of the other funny things was I had taken off, flying around a little bit. I pull out gaggle, and both Jake and Travis back at the airport. What are you guys doing? And Travis had landed to tune his engine a little bit. I think he's got one of those Pellinis. Oh, okay. That audio sucks. I gotta fix that. It's like I'm a dentist. Oh, yeah. This is the one. I flew around town again. I was waiting on them to come up, and I flew around town again. Just for the heck of it. I kind of wanted to scope out that field by behind Bojangles and over near the Walmart. I kind of wanted to scope it out again. It was still bumpy though, so not a fan. The highest I got on this flight was like 1,800 feet. Sun is really bright. I was hoping with the wildfire smoke in the air that it would dim it a little bit. I've got a great drone picture from about 4 years ago. California was on fire and the smoke reached all the way to South Carolina, and when the sun would set, even looking out at the horizon, even a couple of sun widths, above the horizon. So if you hold your hand out, maybe a couple of thumb widths above the horizon, the sun, even at that point, was just a dim red. Looked like something from a sci-fi movie. Looked like something from Star Wars. And the sun setting over Tatooine in the first movie. Okay, I cut a lot of stuff out. Getting back to the airport. So this was one of the things I talked about on my video the other day. There's a pilot that comes in from the left side of the screen, and you really can't see it, but he comes in from the left side of the screen. I'm facing into the wind, so I'm coming straight in for landing, and a small plane comes in, turns left, goes down the runway, gets all the way to the other end, and then he turns around and he's going to come straight back towards me. Now he's flying downwind, which most people don't do, but I'm flying in a 3 mile an hour wind, maybe 4 mile an hour wind. So it's good practice not to do that, even in a fixed, not to take off downwind, even in a fixed wing airplane. But he's not going to notice. I mean, he's taking off at 75 miles an hour, 60 miles an hour, whatever he does. That 4 miles an hour isn't going to mess with him too much. Now, if it was a 15 mile an hour wind, I doubt he would take off downwind. However, it's good practice to always take off in the wind. So that's what we're landing in the wind, which is what I'm doing. So he should have taken off the other way, and I could come in behind and land. But he's going to take off towards me. So what I tell him on the radio, I say I'm about to land. He says, hey, I wanted to take off, or I'm about to take off, something like that. I see you, I'm waiting for takeoff. So I said, being the good ultralight pilot I try to be, I'm like, hey, it's your airport. I got to, basically I have to yield to you anyway. All you have to do is tell me you're taking off, and it's my job to get out of your way. He's a real plane and I'm not. We are the mopeds of the sky. So I get out of his way. Hey, airport's yours. Take off. I'm willing to wait. Besides, he's probably used up more gas on his run-up than I used for this whole landing sequence. I'd rather get out of his way. Yeah, so you hear me give it a little gas to extend my landing run there, and I'll go over that nice empty field. I don't think you can see him take off on the Insta 360 view. I do watch him when I swing back around. I can, I watch him with my eyes, but I'm not sure if I set the Insta360 view in post to where you can see him. They get out of there fast. We take forever, but when they come off the runway, they're gone. And this is really kind of a bad spot for me, because if another airplane was to come in and try to land downwind, they would be coming right towards me. And when they turn on final, that other guy's taking off towards them. So really one of the good examples of why it's so important to have communications with general aviation pilots. I need to know if there's a plane that's going to be coming towards me. I need to know if the plane on the ground's taking off towards me, or if he's going to get gas. And I need to know everything about what's going on at this little airport. Now, I'm a lot lower than pattern altitude, so I'm about 500 feet up at this point. So even if a plane was coming in to land, I'm too close to the runway and I'm too far down. I should be out of their pattern. Let's see if I catch this takeoff. I can't remember if I did or not. I think he's gone by now. He does say something about leaving the local area. Yeah, I think he's gone. I wouldn't be that close to the end of the runway if he was still there. I think he took off and hooked a right. Went up towards MacB like we do. I love this little tree cut that's right at the bottom of the screen. It just feels so natural coming in through that little hole. And then lining up on the grass strip. So unfortunately, the rest of this week, it is the 1st of April tomorrow. So whenever you get to watch this, I'm not sure when it'll be. I've got to edit this video some more. But unfortunately, it's looking like for the next week, the winds just suck. Oh, there's Jake playing around. Yep. Jake and his smoke. I like it when people take off and leave the airport. At least get off to one side. I'm trying to land and there's another guy flying. It's kind of unnerving. And I'm going to try to put it down pretty close to them, but not too close, especially with Jake doing all those maneuvers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. No! Yeah, I fell on my knees. And I realized instantly what I did. I was watching everything else that was going on and not concentrating on my landing. And I pulled a little bit too low. So I came in and I didn't flare enough. And I was still carrying so much energy that I actually didn't run. I couldn't run fast enough. And I just fell over on my knees. But thankfully, that snowsuit is real thick. No harm, no foul. Nothing injured. Just my pride. And when you're missing on here, I don't know what I did with the video. One day I was by myself and it was just so bumpy. I took off and it was just beating the living crap out of me. And I immediately swung around and landed. It just felt awful. So I'm missing that one. I don't know what I did with the, don't know what I did with the video. I put up a couple of shorts, but I'm not sure what happened to the long form video. Anyway, this looks like it's about it. So I'll leave you with my standard goodbye. Remember, no matter what you do, rule 1, don't go splat.